For your information, I'm working on this video on a hot Friday afternoon in the peak of summer. So you can imagine my sweaty ass writing down the script, recording my lines, and arranging this video. And the worst part is, I'm not done with college. I have finals coming up in the next few weeks. Calculus is frying my ass, and I don't remember jack shit from my last coding lecture. And I fear that I might fail one of my major subjects. So what do I do with all of this in mind? Yeah, that's right, I study. You're probably thinking I use this as an opportunity to get my procrastinating ass to come up with an excuse to make a YouTube video, which, well, to be fair, there's a bit of a truth to that. But can I just say, I'm currently still in my first year of college, and I already hate it. I was on my final year of high school when I was asked to choose what course I wanted to take. And you know what my dumb thought was the best course to go for? Computer engineering. Oh my god. I kid you not, this course is actually alright. I know that people look down on computer engineering a lot, and while there is some valid reasons out there, I actually enjoyed the course so far. Learning how to do basic coding for my first year was interesting, and my professors were very passionate about teaching us the ropes. But I cannot say the same for the thing about computer engineering is that on paper, it sounds like you just learn more about coding and computer systems, hardware, software, all that stuff. And while that's true, it's still under engineering. And since it is under engineering, we still have to deal with calculus. Oh my lord, I hate calculus. And it didn't help that my professor was at their job. I kid you not, when we had our first orientation at the start of the first semester, they told us that since we are under engineering, we should already know about all things calculus. Keyword, already. Like, excuse me, bro. They used the argument whenever we were at answering our quizzes, SeatWorks exams, like they weren't at teaching us all there is to know about the subject. They would often cram topics in one lecture section, and when we were still stuck in one concept, they'd move on to the next. There was no room to process everything. So you can imagine how upset we were when they decided to give us failing grades in our finals. Bro, I felt like a failure, but then I took a look at some of the smart students' grades, and their grades were ass too. And I went up to my friends who had the same subjects as me, just different professors. Some of them did worse than me, and yet they passed with flying colors. That's when I knew this college was RNG with a hint of BS. When I showed my grades to my mom, I got a generational lecturing about how ass I was, and that my addiction to gadgets were a problem. Like I wasn't using them late at night to study for finals and failed anyway. Sure, I got distracted sometimes, but that was my coping mechanism. I knew I was fighting a losing battle. My differential calculus experience was abysmal dog shit. Pair an already challenging subject with a professor that clearly does not give a fuck about their students, and you get a recipe for disaster. Now, calculus aside, I also want to talk about my experience with classroom environments. For the most part, it's alright. I couldn't really give much of a fuck about some rooms having no AC or our technology being outdated in some areas. I mean, this is the Philippines anyway. I don't really expect much from a country that's riddled in generational third world prowess, let alone its education system. But can I just say that sometimes it can be a little annoying when I have to connect to the school Wi-Fi or cellular data and find out that one of our buildings can't even reach it. With how populated our campus is, it's so hard to find places that actually has good connection. Like brother, I once had to speed run an online quiz that we had 1 hour to do in just 10 minutes because I spent the first 50 pacing around the campus to find a singular good place to connect to my cellular data. I don't even remember what the quiz was all about. I'm just surprised I actually passed the subject, given the fact that I had very little time to process the questions, and it was all because I could not find a good place to connect. Speaking of finding good places, it always bothered me when I'm bringing like 10 pounds of college stuff every day in the first semester and I would find nowhere to put them. Given our campus's population density, it was expected that it would be quite challenging to find somewhere to actually relax or do your work. The public outdoor space? Hogged. The canteen seats? Hogged. The library? Hogged. Even the benches around the campus get hogged a lot of the times. And I don't even blame the other students. This college is basically survival of the fittest. Either you adapt to something as simple as finding a good place to sit down, or you can go off. And speaking of college students, some of them are a bit odd for lack of better term. Now, I don't hate on those types of people who have bizarre hobbies or insane stories to tell about their personal experiences, but my god, can you please tone it down? One time I was just eating my lunch at the public outdoor space we had. Yeah, lucky me, I found a seat. And the girls behind me were like,
Oh yeah, I have this toy I bought off the shop just a few blocks away from campus. It was so big, girl.
And I don't hate on people who partake on those kinds of activities. I mean, I'm a 19-year-old freelance editor who's just started collecting Fujimoto manga and does nothing at home but study, doom scroll, and play Geometry Dash. That's the kind of life I'm living right now. I'm a loser child myself. But my god, hate those types of people who just don't know how to tone down or just full on shut the fuck up. And don't get me started on couples who do PDA around the campus. Like, dog, drag that shit at y'all's places or on DMs. A struggling college student with no love life does not need to see that shit. But anyway, that's my odd college experience so far. Obviously, it's not all bad, and I made amazing friends during my first year, which is nice. But I would be lying if I said college was an upgrade in comparison to my high school years. I pretty much took my high school life for granted. So all of you who are currently in the college life like me, whether you're a freshman or higher, I hope we can all go through the silent battles and push through to get our college degree and get a job that we will probably hate anyway or love. Who knows? And to all of you who have yet to experience college in the next year or longer, please enjoy your life as it is now because college isn't fair. I had to learn that the hard way myself.